Hey Renter Retires, it's Adam Schroeder here, and today we're going to talk about what you should actually think about your interest rate. Before we get started with today's video, let me remind everybody, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the notifications bell, get notified whenever we put out all of our videos as we try to make you the best possible investor you can be and succeed as you build your real estate portfolio. Really appreciate the time you've all been spending watching these videos, and I hope they've been incredibly helpful to you. And at the end of the video, if it has been helpful, please click the like button. And as always, if you have any questions at the end, leave it in the comments below. We will answer it. Or if there's any videos you want us to make, put it down there as well, and we'll get to it as soon as possible. So today I want to talk about interest rates, and specifically what we should really be thinking about them, because right now we are in a rising interest rate environment. You're seeing it with the Fed talking about raising rates and the rates starting to rise. And a lot of people are concerned about that. Now I understand why. It's because it's the number you look at when it comes to your payments, right? But what I want to do is really talk about what you should really think about these, because especially I want to talk about the new construction stuff that's going on in Florida and how people get caught up on the interest rate that is happening in those builds and the interest rate that they can get on turnkey as well. So what I want to say is, don't even think about the number. Your interest rate doesn't really matter. What matters is your payment. Now, obviously, your interest rate impacts your payment, but you can't be looking at the past, the recent past especially, and saying, I'm not going to buy because interest rates used to be X. What you need to be doing is say, at this interest rate, does this deal make sense? And if it does, fantastic. Because if it makes sense at this rate, it'll make sense at a lower rate. And you're only going to have to go lower unless you want to in the future, because you are going to lock this rate in for 30 years. Obviously, most of the time we don't actually keep the properties for these 30 years, but you're going to lock it in and you're not going to have to think about it again. So what I tell people is, don't look at the rate necessarily. You can't go comparing it because it is what it is in today's environment. You know, it's going to go up, it's going to come down. Rates are going to happen. So just look at your investment and say, with this current rate, does it make sense? So when it comes to especially the construction loans, people look at it and they say, oh my gosh, I'm paying 9% interest on this. I'm paying close to 10% interest. And the answer is yes. Yes, you are. You're paying this interest rate. And guess what? Who cares? You know, you look at the whole picture. Look at the whole thing and realize, I'm putting in this amount of money, let's just say $75,000. I'm putting in $75,000 and I'm going to get an asset that is valued at $350,000, $400,000, maybe even higher by the time it's being completed. Don't look at the rate, because the rate for the most part just creates the payments. So if you are already building that in, who cares if it's at 9%, 12%, 13%, 2%? I mean, yes, everybody would love to have the lowest possible rate so that they can have the lowest possible payment. But to not want to move forward or to hold off on investing because rates used to be cheaper, or maybe they'll be cheaper in 2 weeks, the question is, does the deal work now? With the current numbers, does the deal make sense? Does the deal work? And if it does, move forward. If these deals didn't make sense, then don't move forward. But the fact is, you can't fixate. Construction loans, they're going to be higher. It's just the way it is. The interest rates are higher. A lot of times you're dealing with private money. You're dealing with something that's not built and is in the process, so it's not existing. So it's considered riskier. So your rate is going to be higher. Just is. How high? Not too high that it doesn't make sense. You can still put down the money, get the asset, and move forward. There is a time that it will stop making sense. And if it hits that point, then sure, worry about the rate. But overall, just look at the numbers that actually are generated by that interest rate. Don't worry, don't fixate on 0.25% or 1/8% or 0.5%. Don't fixate on that. Look at the important things. What are the important things? Your return on investment, your cash flow. Deals cash flow at 5%, deals cash flow at 6%, 7%, 12%. Obviously, all things being equal, you'd rather have the 4%, right? But the fact is, You want to make sure it makes sense when you're buying it. And so look at the final numbers, not the interest rate, the payment, and make sure that it's making sense. Because if you are going to stop and not invest until the interest rates get down to where they were a year ago, 6 months ago, something like that, guess what? You're not going to be investing. I don't know if we'll ever get back down there again because we haven't been there before. It took a global pandemic and people freaking out and running away to really create this environment. It's probably not going to happen again, and if it does happen again, not for a long time. So don't fixate on the past. Don't fixate on 3 weeks ago. Look at the numbers today and see what they can do for you. And if the deal makes sense, you move forward. So that's what you can do with your interest rate. It's mostly ignore it. Just look at what it generates, not the actual number on it. And when you do that, you'll start focusing on the numbers of the deal and realizing that they do make sense or they don't make sense. And then you start moving forward on the deal, and it will make your life better. It will make you a happier person. You won't be fretting about every little thing, every little move that happens, and you'll just be a better investor. So I hope that's been helpful. If it has, please click the like button and let us know. You can check us out at renttoretirement.com. That's renttoretirement.com. You can schedule a call with our investment strategists. You can see all the team there. That's renttoretirement.com. Really appreciate you spending the time to make yourself an educated investor. You can also see our inventory at renttoretirement.com/hotlist and get them sent straight to your phone. Leave a comment below if you have anything you'd like us to answer or other topics you want us to cover. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.
Thanks for watching the Rent to Retirement YouTube channel. Check out some of our other videos, like this one, or this one here.